Hey everyone, it's me Alex and welcome to a brand new video. In this video I'm going to be showing you how to embed external assignments. This could be any assignment. It can be Google Forms, Google Docs, Edpuzzle, Pear Deck, or any link you would want basically here on Canvas into an assignment format. So that way students don't have to leave Canvas at all. You can embed it into the assignment. So for example, demo assignment number 1 into the assignment you create here on Canvas, and it's all one link so they don't have to be moving around between different links and stuff like that. For example, if you teach younger students or stuff like that and you don't want them bouncing around with different links, just a simple assignment, this is the way to do it. It's super easy. You do not need to have an app or Google Docs linked to Canvas LMS like the software that uses to embed like consumer key and stuff like that here on Canvas. And all you need basically is the link for the assignment. So for example, I'm going to be doing 2 demonstrations here, a Google Doc and a Google Form. But before we get started, hi to anyone new here, my name is Alex Torres. I do helpful technology videos, so make sure to hit that subscribe button. It's trying to help my channel grow. Thank you. So let's get started with the video. So this video is part of a series I'm doing here on my channel called Getting Started with Canvas. This series is just in depth, like how to do everything here on Canvas step by step. So I will be explaining everything step by step on how to do this. So if you haven't checked out my previous videos, I've pasted a link on the top right now for the playlist I created for this series. So the first thing you'll want to do is, we're going to go down to settings because we need to install the app called Redirect Tool. So go down to settings, and this app is free. You do not need to pay for the app or anything. So once you're in settings, we're going to go to apps right here. And we're going to search for, by name, we're going to do Redirect Tool, which is this one. It usually takes a while to load. The image will show up right now. Not Redirect Plus, but this one, Redirect Tool. It looks like an arrow. We're going to go ahead and click on that. And I already have it installed, but if you don't have it yet, which of course you might not, so we're going to go ahead and click on Add App. And then we're going to give it a name. So this would be the name of the assignment you're embedding into Canvas. So for example, I have this Google Doc. I'll be doing Google Docs and Google Forms just to show you. So this is, but again, like I said, this will work with any. If you want to go ahead and use this one first, the first thing you want to do if you're using Google Docs is give everyone with the link permission. So we're going to click on the share button, and we're going to click on where it says restricted. We're going to do anyone with the link. Or if you're, of course, with the school, it's going to ask you anyone within your domain of your school. You can do that as well. And you want to make sure you're on editor mode. So we're going to click on edit. And then after that, before you click done, click on copy link. And then you can click done. So for example, the homework assignment I'm going to be doing is just called homework 1. So I'm going to go in here on Canvas and add the name. So homework 1, homework number 1, and the link. So our Google Doc link. And then I recommend you turn this off where it says force open in a new tab. All this means is when they're going to click on the assignment on Canvas, they're going to be forced to open the assignment or page to a new tab. Don't worry if you do want them to go on a separate tab. I still recommend you turn this off because I'll show you the other way here on the Canvas assignments page. So I'll recommend you turn this off, and make sure you also don't check showing course navigation. If you check that, that will show on the bottom left. And of course, on the left-hand side of the course. We don't want that because it's just the assignment. So leave everything unchecked. And we're going to click on add. There we go. The app was added successfully. So now from here, we can go onto the assignments list and create our assignment. So then from here, we can create an assignment. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. And I'm going to name it homework 1. And we're going to go ahead and add a description. So I'm going to put, please complete your homework 1 on the Google Doc below. And then we're not going to add the physical link to the Google Doc because, of course, you can see it says links right here. We're not going to do that. From here, I'm going to go ahead and say this is 5 points. I'm going to put assignment group homework classwork, display points as points, and submission type. So this is the main one you want to look for. We're going to click on where it says online, no submission, or whichever button shows up for you. Usually by default is on online. So we're going to click on external tool. And then we're going to click on the find button. And we're going to go ahead and look for the one we just created. This is the one, homework 1. We're going to click on that and press on select. So as you can see, it adds another special link. So don't change that link once you push on find, because if we edit anything in here, it's going to go ahead and not work the correct way. So you might be thinking, oh no, but this is not the link to the website I'm adding or assignment I'm adding. Don't worry, don't change that. And then we're gonna, if you want, again, like I said, if you want students to complete this assignment in a new tab, so for example, take them physically to the Google Doc page separately, you can leave that checked or unchecked. And unchecked just means is gonna be here on Canvas, so they don't need to leave Canvas. I'm gonna go ahead and uncheck that. Allow attempts, you can leave it on unlimited. because even if they work on the Google Doc or whichever assignment you're creating, it's not going to show to you that they submitted it. So it's just going to be blank. So you can leave this on unlimited. Let's just say homework 1 is due the 23rd and it locks on the 23rd. And then we can click on save and publish, and it'll automatically publish to the students. Let's say we click on save and you forgot to publish. You're gonna see it's gonna look different. So as you can see, it says homework 1. Please complete your homework 1 on the Google Doc below. There is no publish button. So if you accidentally did that and you didn't click publish, go back to assignments, and we're gonna click on that and just click the publish button. So now I'm gonna go into student view. And for example, I'm a student now working on the assignment. I can see homework 1. I can click on that. And as you can see, I don't need to leave Canvas at all to do the assignment. So of course, we did give everyone permission to work on it with edit view. So especially if students aren't signed into Google, they're going to show us anonymous edits, because you can see it just says anyone with the link. So for example, answer the following questions. This is actually a really cool feature. So for example, if you're doing in-class assignment, like big assignment, we can have like one student answer each question. You can have like 15 questions. Each student answers 1. So they don't need to leave Canvas at all. So they're here on the assignment. Let's just say, I am good. And then you can have them write their name at the end. Oops. Just like that. That's just for a demo. So as you can see, I'm into student view, but once I leave student view, I did the assignment technically, but once I go into teacher view, if I click on speed grader, it's going to tell me that no student submitted the assignment. So it's not going to physically turn in the assignment for you. So you would have to go in, check whichever assignment you assigned with the external tool and be like, okay, they did the assignment. So then from here, you would just go in here and give them the grade. So 5 out of 5, and it'll just show 100% to the student. And it graded it for them. So that's the first way. That is by just having everything here on Canvas. Let's say you do want them to work on an external page. For example, let's say this is a big assignment or a big project. Or let's say you're linking a Google form and you want, of course, you prefer to do the exams on Google form and not quizzes because you could on Canvas, because you can use and just copy that link to access for other courses. You can do that. So for this next example, I'm gonna have it embedded to an external link. So it would force them to a new tab. So this is just the basic Google Forms template for exit ticket. Of course, you would edit on it and fix it to whatever you need. Of course, you want to make sure we published our Google form. So as you can see, it already says public. So then we're going to click on the link right here. And I recommend you can keep it, you can shorten the URL or you can just keep it long. It doesn't really matter. I'll go ahead and shorten it and copy the link. So then you would have to do this each time you want to link an external tool for an assignment. So we'd have to go in here on Canvas, click on settings. We're going to click on apps. But now you don't need to search for it here because you already did it once. It would be under installed. And there it is. Redirect tool. So we would click on that. Add app. Of course, paste your link. And I'll just put this on exam 1. Oops, 1. And I'm going to go ahead and uncheck this. I still recommend you keep this one unchecked. And I'm going to click on add app. Perfect. The app was added successfully. So now create the assignment. So we're going to go down to assignments. Assignment. And I'm going to go ahead and put exam 1. Complete your exam 1 on Google Forms. Just like that. You can bold that or whatever you would like to do. And then let's just say this one is worth out of 100 points because it's an exam. I'm going to do assessments, which is worth 70% of the grade just for this course. Just for this course. Again, you would say your own settings. And then again, we want to keep it on external tool. We're going to do find. We're going to look for our link we just created. So exam 1, select. And then let's say, yeah, this is a bigger assignment. I actually prefer to have this on a bigger link, or a bigger screen for them. So I'll leave this one checked this time. And just to show you if we do actually want to limit the number of submissions, this won't do anything as well. So let's go ahead and do due date. Let's just say it's due today because it's the exam. And I'll just go ahead and do save and publish. So now, once they click the assignment, so we're going to go ahead and I'm going to go ahead and go into student view. So you can see that this is how it's going to look for them. We're going to go down to assignments. They're going to see, oh, exam 1. Okay, so they're going to click on that. Once they click it, as you can see, it says this tool needs to be loaded in a new browser window. So as you can see, it's still embedded in Canvas because it says submitting an external tool. But now they need to click this link in order to take them to the exam. So if we click on that, Now it'll take them directly to the exam or quiz they had. So I'm just gonna go ahead and do a submission here really quick. I'm gonna go ahead and do a quick submission here. Let's just do name. And let's say I'm done. I'm gonna click on submit. So there we go. Let's just say we finished our exam. So now again, we can refresh. But of course for the student, it's not gonna show that they submitted it. So if we go to leave student view, again, SpeedGrader, it's not going to show for them, for you, again, for the instructor. It says no submission. Even though we did limit one submission, they clicked on that submit button on Google Forms, but that is linked separately. So of course, those are not talking to each other. So if we go on here, we would have to manually go to whichever link we added, click on responses, individual, or summary, and there it is. Names, let's just say this is the one I just did. Perfect, let's say they got 70 this time out of 100. So we'll go in here, punch 70. Or there's no need to open SpeedGrader at all too, because you wouldn't already know it doesn't link. We can go in here and just click on grades. If you prefer this format as well, we can go ahead and look for exam 1 and just punch in 70 for the student. And then there we go. So as you can see, their grade is now adjusted. And just to show you how it would look like for the Google form, if you do want to keep it embedded into Canvas so they don't need to visit an external link, let me go ahead and turn that feature off right here. So I'm going to edit, more options. I'm going to go ahead and uncheck this button to load in this tool in a new tab. And now the student won't have to physically visit the external link, because you can see now it's embedded here on Canvas. So as you can see, it says, please complete this exam 1. They can go in here, fill it out, and hit the submit button. And then you would, of course, have to go into Google Forms and check the response. So this is actually a really cool feature, again, because it allows students just to stay on Canvas. Again, like I said, if you teach younger students, you don't want them bouncing around on different tabs, this will work. Or even for higher students as well. If you just want to have everything embedded here on Canvas, it's easier, and they don't have to keep visiting like external links and stuff like that. And just to show you that it works, let's just say my website right here, they were going to, let's just say this is like a form sign up. So let's just say this is like to sign up for a day you want to present or something. We can go ahead in here, go to settings. Again, we would have to manually do this. Apps, installed, redirect tool, add app. I'll add the link. And then I'm going to go ahead and put, so for example, let's just say this is a presentation sign up. We're going to go ahead and add the app. Assignments, that's announcements. Assignments, add assignment. Let's just do, we can add presentation sign up and select a time to present with your group. And then they can say that this one is worth 0 points. We can have it worth in the participation, but we can have it not count towards the final grade. You can do that as well. We can choose a link. We'll find the one we just did. Presentation sign up, even though it's just my link. I'm gonna have it embedded here on Canvas. And let's just say this is due tomorrow, even though it's just a sign up, I want to know that they signed up for a day by tomorrow. So we're going to go ahead and do it, save and publish. So for example, let's say this was a Google form, not my website, because actually it'll make sense just like a Google form or Google Doc. Let's say perfect, they signed up. They signed up for, let's say tomorrow at 11 a.m. after the second group is done. You can come in here, even though it's not graded, just to show that they did the assignment. You can put 0 out of 0, and I'll show them that, okay, perfect, they did the assignment. So that's pretty much it. So that's how to embed external assignments such as Google Docs, Google Forms, and many other links you can do on here on Canvas, or any external link, which is really cool, again, like I said, because everything stays here inside Canvas. In this next part of the video, I'm going to be showing you how to delete these links. So for example, let's say your account is getting full of too many external links you did. So when you add or find an external tool, let's say we want to remove some, you can do that. But just know that once you delete it, the assignment itself won't work anymore. So for example, I'm going to be deleting this one because it's just the last one I made. So I'm going to go in here. We would go down to settings, apps. We're going to click on view app configurations. And we're going to look for the assignment I just made. So for example, this is homework 1. So to delete it, we click on the settings gear. Of course, these are locked by Canvas. They are installed by default, either by Canvas or your organization or your school. So those you cannot delete. So we're going to find homework 1 we just made. I'm going to click on the settings gear and delete. I was going to say, are you sure you want to delete this tool? I'm going to click on delete. So whichever assignment you had linked to that external tool is going to be deleted. So of course I had 2 assignments on there for the homework 1 and the presentation sign up. So those are fully gone now. So if I go to assignments, I'll go ahead and view as a student just to show you. This is the one I just made, presentation sign up. If I click on that, it's not going to work anymore. As you can see, it says the URL provided is not valid. Same for the other one, homework one I just created. If we go on here, click on that, the URL is not provided because they were the same link. So, but of course, as you can see, the student grade does not change. So if I was to go down to grades as a student, it still shows I did the assignment, which is right here, 5 out of 5, and the presentation sign up. The only thing is that now, if they want to revisit the assignment, let's say, oh, what did I do for that question? We click on that, it's not going to work for them anymore. So that's the only downside, is that yes, they won't be able to go back in there to check the document. But again, that's totally fine too. Of course, if you already have a grade, or you already graded the student's assignment, it's perfectly fine as well. So again, as you can see, it says the URL is not provided. But if we leave student view, the other assignment, actually I'll leave stay in student view, sorry about that. The other assignment's still going to be on there. So if I click on exam 1, I didn't delete that physical link. So that main link is still active here on Canvas. So as you can see, the student sees their grade, and they can still come in here. Of course, if you limit to one response, it won't work for them anymore. But if it's like another assignment, another Google Doc, they'll still work for the student. So that's, the assignment only gets affected with the link you delete. So of course, I did not delete this link. It's still available for the student to go back in there and see. So that's pretty much it. I hope you found this video helpful. If you did, please give it a thumbs up, subscribe, and turn on the bell so you can get notified every time I post a new video. Thank you for watching. I'll see you guys next time in my next video. Bye.